Are you ready? Stand by.
Welcome back to the Three Gun Show. This is Dave Hartman, your host, and this is a special Match Recon episode of the Three Gun Nation Midwestern Regional with our field correspondent, Adam Maxwell. Adam.
Back from the field.
Welcome back from the field, buddy.
Trying to remember. We're going back into the past.
We're going back into the past, and there's been a lot of matches since then, but you were instrumental in getting this match to Minnesota. So let's hope that memory serves.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. It was a wild ride, but yeah, we negotiated or coerced or convinced Three Gun Nation that they should come north of the Mason-Dixon line and hold an event. And right away in April, we weren't sure if it was going to rain, shine, or snow.
Yeah, when I saw that on the match, the match schedule, I was like, really? April in Minnesota?
And here's the deal.
Interesting.
Here's why that happened. We had to be in the spring due to some requirements that Three Gun Nation had. And at the club here, we basically, for club politics, where if you're involved with a gun club at all, you know there's all kinds of weird politics that go on at a gun club.
Yeah.
We had to have the event before youth high school trap leagues started, and the main club leagues started, which start in the middle or the end of April.
Okay.
So we had to get it in then, and for the least amount of interference, controversy, whatever.
Sure.
That was just the date we had to pick, and they're like, man, is it? Because Minnesotans like to talk about like how nasty the weather is and like it's snow on the ground 6 months out of the year. But people, we plant corn on the April 15th. All right. I used to be in agriculture. All right. The insurance company lets you plant corn on April 15th. So like it ain't that bad, If it snows, it don't stick. But it did snow the day after the match. Yeah, so we had to do it really early for a couple things that made more sense on the administrative side. And, yeah, I could definitely see all the people in the southern half of the country being like,
sure,
screw that.
Well, especially when I was in Texas at the time, I was like,
heck, there were people from Wisconsin who didn't come. Like, it's too cold. I'm still having hot cocoa and watching football or whatever they do. I don't know.
All right, man, let's run it down. So take it away.
All right, so we're talking about the 2017 Three Gun Nation Midwestern Regional, which took place on April 8th and 9th here at the Forest Lake Sportsman's Club in Forest Lake, Minnesota, which is just northeast of the Minneapolis-St. Paul metropolitan area. It was a total time match, as is their style, using their proprietary Three Gun Nation rulebook. It was all posted to Practice Score in addition to their own website through the range log system.
Oh yeah, I always forget about that.
Yeah, they kind of have their own thing going on there. It's delayed. It's not real. Everybody looks at Practice Score when it's prize table time, but all of the information does also get posted to range log.
Yeah,
as far as classifications and things like that go.
Right.
They run on an AM/PM match schedule.
Half day format.
Yeah, half day format, which works pretty well for their style of match.
Yeah.
A new thing this year, they were doing 2 tiers of match fee.
Oh, that's right.
Which is highly controversial.
Why is that controversial?
Well, because
tell us the match fees first.
Match fee is $275 to walk the prize table.
Okay.
$150 to do trophy only.
Okay.
So then folks are like, "What? So I got to pay $125 to get a prize?" And so there's the people who look at it as like, I have to pay to get a prize, and then there's the people who are like, I'm gonna get a crappy prize anyway because I'm gonna finish 127th. Just give me $125 and let me shoot.
Yeah.
You know.
So the way I look at it is I can almost shoot 2 3-Gun Nation regionals instead of 1, just for
Yes.
the match fee.
Which is the intent.
Yeah.
Which is the intent. If you talk to the 3-Gun Nation people, that is totally their intent.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're out for the prizes, you're out for the, you want to play the high stakes poker, you
Sure.
got to ante up.
Yep.
And they took the cue
Makes sense.
from a lot of precedent in motorsports, rodeo, and some of the cycle racing too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I mean, in those sports, if you want to be eligible for the big prize, you pay the big entry. So to race motocross at the pro level, that's one entry fee. To ride B class is something else, and to ride C class is something else.
Now that you mention it, when I was doing obstacle racing, the Spartan race had an elite heat. And when you run a Spartan race, a lot of times on some of the more difficult obstacles, there's backups.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're not able to run your fastest time because you got to wait for some JO that doesn't know how to climb that rope and come down. Where if you run the elite heat, you run first, but you pretty much have like a free and open space because there's 50 dudes and most of them are way faster than you are anyway.
Yeah. So they're trying to move in that direction. There are lots of theories as to how to solve the prize table question that's kind of plaguing the major match event promotion industry. I don't know if
It's
I
an
would say industry.
I'd say it's an industry
segment, But anyway,
niche.
Those of us who are doing it, we're trying to put on good events, trying to get good prizes and sponsorships for everyone. The question is, how do you create the value for the sponsor, and then how do you draw the shooters?
Right.
So this is one of the many things that 3-Gun Nation is trying to do that. They're either making it more attainable for people who don't care about the prizes, and then the people who do care about the prizes, they can ante up and be eligible to win. But we are probably the largest collection of Type A personalities in the world. So Facebook just lit up when they announced all of this, and it was like the 4th of July with all the fireworks.
Interesting.
But yes.
All right.
So we had 170 shooters turn out for it, which is kind of on par with most of the regional matches thus far this season.
Mm-hmm. I think there was a little bit less at the Southwest Regional.
Yeah, but they were kind of in that 160, 170, 150 range. I think they were like 168 in Florida.
Yeah, Southwest Regional was 169, so that's right on par.
Yeah. The East Regional sold out, from what I understand, but that's the only one that's sold out.
Okay.
To my knowledge. Division winners were the man, the myth, the legend, Greg Jordan in practical. Rick Birdsall edged me out in factory. And then
no hard feelings?
I'm over it. Not really. I'm coming for you, Rick. I am coming for you. Josh Froelich took #OnlyShootOpen in the unlimited division. And Jay Carrillo took heavy. And Rob Romero beat himself in PCC. He was the only guy.
Oh, nice.
Rob Romero was the contrarian and shot PCC all by himself.
Good for him.
Because that's how he rolls. I don't know.
By the way, Jay Carrillo switching to heavy has had a pretty awesome run this year.
Yeah, he's been killing it in heavy.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of guys, branching out into the other divisions.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was, for the last couple of seasons, there's been a really big consolidation into practical and TO. And I think we're kind of moving in the direction of like people want to get back out into some of these other divisions because we have other guns too.
I have a theory on that. Do we want to talk about that in the Match Recon episode or
should we
might
save
as well? We derail all the time.
Yeah, why not?
So my theory on that is that people conglomerated and take this with a grain of salt because I've been shooting major matches for 2 years and only shooting 3 guns since 2011. So my theory is that people conglomerate into TAC Optics or Practical if you're shooting 3-Gun Nation because of the Pro Series. They wanted to be on that Pro Series in Tulsa with the the super fast matches and where you stack up against like the top 50 dudes in the country, and they wanted to have all the other reps that they do in other matches in TO, right? And now that for all intents and purposes, that particular iteration of the Pro Series does not exist anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Now people see like, well, I'm not necessarily tied to TO. I can go shoot something else.
Yep.
And then the proliferation of matches now that will let you shoot a semi-auto shotgun, 9mm pistol, but just a 308 rifle.
Mm-hmm.
That makes it also more accessible from there because you only have to buy one piece of gear. You don't have to buy a whole nother shotgun or a whole nother 9mm or a whole nother pistol.
Yep.
Right, wrong, or indifferent.
Well,
that's a different conversation altogether.
Well, that's going to be a short sidetrack because I pretty much agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
And we can also prove the inverse with Three Gun Nation because before the quote-unquote Pro Series,
right,
when they were just pulling shoot-off dudes out of divisions at outlaw matches,
right,
they had the opposite effect. Dudes were scattering into other divisions to try and win that division so they would get pulled into the shoot-off to win the cash.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
Yeah, dudes scattered like fireflies. Rob Romero being one of them. That was kind of a big deal when the points were shaken out, and you know, guys like Rob did the math, and they're like, well, I'm too far behind in TO, but there's enough matches left. I can jump into heavy and make a comeback. You know,
I gotcha.
If I win 3 matches in heavy, I'm in. For the national shoot-off.
Interesting.
Or whatever.
So
it's gone both ways.
Gaming does not only mean on a stage at the match. It
Nope.
means
gamers be gaming, man.
Gamers be gaming.
It's really a lifestyle. You know, you just got to embrace it.
Did you choose the gamer lifestyle?
I don't know that I have.
Or did the gamer lifestyle choose you?
You know, chicken or the egg. I'm not sure. Not sure. Just a product of my raisins, I think.
All right, so other opportunities at the match?
Other opportunities at the match. Well, the regional series are loaded this year. They have a 5-stage shotgun speed shoot at almost all the matches. They did a pistol shoot at one of them, but they always have a speed shoot going on.
And here at the regional, it was a shotgun match?
Yeah, here at the regional, it was a shotgun match. You can sign up for as many divisions as you want, and they pay out in cash.
Which is awesome.
Which, yeah, a lot of dudes have figured out you can clean house on that if you shoot multiple divisions.
Yeah.
I, as we have established in other episodes, just like to shoot guns. So I shoot as many divisions as I can fit a Benelli M2 into.
Right. Yeah, when we were at the Southwest Regional, I think you shot open or unlimited. You shot TO and factory.
Yes.
In the same shotgun side shoot.
Yes. Yeah, I shot all 3 divisions at nationals. I shot 2 divisions in Texas, and I shot 2 divisions here. Oh no, I shot 3 divisions. Anyway, yeah, I shot. No, I don't. It's not important. I shoot a lot of the shotguns because I like shotgun and I'm here to party. So I just keep flaking the $20 bills off in front of Tennille until she tells me to stop. Okay, that's how many divisions you can shoot. And then there was also the Pro Series. The Pro Series was going on here. So that was a spectating opportunity for most, a shooting opportunity for me in this instance. But the Pro Series was going on as well during the Midwest Regional.
Okay. So what was the match flavor of the Midwest Regional?
Well, I think at this point, Three Gun Nation has kind of developed their own flavor.
Right.
I think they're kind of their own deal. They've branded it and pretty well defined it. I think of Three Gun Nation matches as athletic. They're very sharp. Like the angles and the lines and everything are well thought out. They lay all they choreograph their stage designs in advance. So everything is well thought out, colorful, sharp and square, and then they're set up for speed. So I'd say they have their own style at this point. You know, you can either mirror it or not, but it's very athletic. It's really what they're going for.
Okay. And what was the terrain, like the buzzword you love.
Terrain, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I would call it bays exploited. How's that?
Bays exploited.
Yeah.
Okay.
'cause here all the bullets got to hit berms.
Right.
So no matter what, I mean, we can let you run up on the side of the berm, but you're still shooting down into the bay. They pretty much put on a quote-unquote bay-style match here. There's a couple areas of our range where they can use jungles or jungle run type features and still hit a berm with a rifle.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a stage like that. And then all the shotgun stuff was set up in natural terrain. They thought, I came out here when they were setting up the match, and they were setting up the shotgun speed shoots, and they're like, our club has 2 significant wetlands on it.
Right.
Ponds.
Yeah.
And the sporting clays, ranges, and everything are set up around these ponds.
Mm-hmm.
And as are many shotgun ranges in the upper Midwest. And they're like, we can just shoot out there? Like, the pellets can go out into the wetland? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, why couldn't they? Like, man, that's awesome. We could never do that in North Carolina.
Some places you can't do that.
Yeah, no. So they thought they were setting it up on the edge of the marsh just because they could, I think. They're like this. Chris was feeling a little naughty, like driving stakes into the cattails. It was funny. But,
yeah. Well, that's last year at the Generation 3 gun match. You know, they have that stage where the targets are all on floating docks.
Yes.
And I got to one. I'm like, well, so
I should put that on my shopping list.
yeah. So the slugs, those just fall into the pond, and they're like, yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, is that okay? And they're like, what do you mean? Like, well, so now the pond has all this lead in it, and they're like, I'm not following. They just like not even crossing the mind. Where I'm from Colorado, so we're getting damn near as PC as California. So
yeah, we're kind of spoiled with the amount of water that we have here and the amount of, I'll say, filtration that goes as it moves around. I would say probably if we were going to like invent this club on this land in 2017, probably wouldn't get approved.
oh no.
However, most gun clubs been around however many years. I think this club's has been here since the 40s or the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
And they're grandfathered in,
Mm-hmm.
So
God, think of how much lead's at the bottom of that pond.
this pond, not nearly as much as some other gun clubs in our area. There's
really?
another gun club that's a very, very active sporting clays club, and I mean, how those ducks don't have 3 heads, I don't know. There's a lot of lead at the Horse and Hunt Club in that pond.
Nice.
OMG.
So then, so bays exploited.
Bays exploit. So yeah, I mean they're still using bays. We have I'll say 8 bays, 9
20-foot tall berms.
9 bays. Yeah, there's one area of the range where they're pretty symmetrical and similar size. We have one that's actually like a 360 or a 270 degree bay that they used. Yeah. So it's a bay. I mean they built this range with an excavator and a D6. All right,
Mm-hmm.
so it's I can't tell you that it's a natural terrain match because there are other matches that are. The Vortex Shooter Source in Texas, that's a terrain match.
Yep.
Blue Ridge is a terrain match.
Right.
We get to use some natural features here, but it's we're still kind of playing on a tennis court.
Sure.
So.
All right. So skills utilized. What skills were utilized in the match?
I think of the 3 Gun Nation matches as stage chess.
Okay.
Okay, so they throw it out there, and it's all about your strategy of how you're going to neutralize all these targets, because most of their stuff is optional.
Right.
They throw a lot of options out there for you.
Yeah.
And it's kind of on you to figure out what guns are advantageous to use or what parts of your skill set you can utilize to put down the best time you can.
Mm-hmm. rifle and pistol paper, also available with a slug, that
Yeah.
type of thing.
Yeah. So you got a golf bag full of guns.
Yep.
And you have to select which club is the best for this target. And that's what
I
it
like
is.
doing that.
I do too. I like it a lot.
I like to be able to choose between my pistol and my shotgun.
Yes.
For like poppers and plates and stuff like that.
And the more I do it, the more I dislike the style where they tell me what to do.
Yeah.
So that's what's cool, because you walk through these stages and you look at it and it's like, well, okay, so this is what it would look like with a rifle. Now what would it look like with a pistol? I don't like loading my shotgun that much, so maybe I can pistol my way around that. Or, I need my pistol over here, so I'm going to shotgun over there.
Yeah. Or I can change a pistol magazine and have 23 tries faster than I can quad load or load 8.
Yeah, a shotgun's a sure thing, but I can miss a lot of times with the pistol in the same amount of time. So it's that kind of stuff that I've come to enjoy in the sport, and that's why I really like what I say, the Three Gun Nation style of match, because they've really kind of developed their own style that wasn't really around before they did it in any significant, certainly not on the level or, not as a whole series like it is now. So,
okay. What was the farthest shot and number of long-range targets?
Furthest shot, the beauty of Forest Lake Sportsman's Club is there's only one place to put a long-range target. It is physically impossible for it to be more than 2 targets.
That's true,
and it is going to be somewhere between 380 and 365 yards, depending how much room they want to give people to stand around. It's a 400-yard range from the bench inside the shoot house.
Right.
There isn't a whole lot of long range here. However, you did need some long range skills. Ultimately, if I were going to blame, that's what cost me the win in factory was my long range performance. There was one particular target that I couldn't hit at an intermediate range for whatever reason. I spent too much time shooting at it like an idiot. But so 300, I believe at that match where they we have a staircase prop.
I saw that.
Yeah, it's like a
staircase nowhere.
Yeah, so it is. It's literally a staircase nowhere. We ripped it out of that classroom house we were recording in. Yeah, we ripped it out of there, and then we kind of like put it on its own jig, so it's freestanding, and then we shoot off it from time to time.
And it has no side rails and nothing to keep you from going on it.
Oh, yeah.
It's just in storage in the side.
Not even close to OSHA approved.
I can't tell you how many times I was just staring at that thing thinking, like, I should go stand on top of that. Just a terrible idea, and I didn't do it. But
Right. But there's still time. I mean,
there's still time.
Yeah.
It's dark now.
But, so that's 365 yards is what I think it was at that match. And then usually.
About how many?
Huh?
About how many?
1.
1 at 350?
1, yeah.
And then so, like.
Maybe 1, maybe 2.
And for like our purposes, long is like 2 to infinity, right?
Right. So there's 1 at 365. There's I think 2 or 3 at like 265.
Okay.
So it's a 200, 300, 400 yard berm. So it works back in 100-yard increments pretty much.
Right. And like you said, every bullet has to impact the berm, so the targets have to be pretty close to the berms.
Yep. And if you hit the range floor, they're shutting you down.
Yep.
Because we can't skip bullets out of our range.
Right.
That's very bad.
Mucho bad. All right, so logistics.
Logistics are, I mean, not to toot our own horn, but logistics are pretty awesome here. As far as, I skipped ahead to venue then, so let's. When you said logistics, I'm thinking about getting here.
Oh, I got you.
So we're within 30 minutes of an international airport.
Oh, you're skipping to venue?
Yeah, when you said logistics, that's what my mind jumped to.
Oh, okay.
And then I said random things that would now not make sense in logistics.
Okay, so go ahead and talk about the venue, and we'll come back.
So venue, we're within 30 minutes of an international airport in Minneapolis, St. Paul. It's a Delta hub, so it's very easy to get here. Mm-hmm. And then
MSP is a decent airport to fly into as well.
Yes.
And out of.
Yep. And the zip ties that they use now on your Pelican case, super easy to rip off. You don't even need scissors. And then we are 2 miles off I-35. So we are The range itself is probably 100 feet from I-35, but to get here from the exit is about 2 miles.
Right.
So access is super easy.
100 feet if you're brave, 2 miles if you're taking the surface roads.
Right. You know, as crow flies. Dave's favorite term from Minnesota so far.
Oh, I've heard it a lot. That's not my favorite term. There was a bunch of other ones. Oh, send it. Still going to send it.
Still going to send. Yeah. What's in your fish house?
All right. So, so the venue's pretty easy to get to.
Venue's pretty easy to get to. There are some hotels in here locally within that same 2 miles of the range, but we're also very close to a metropolitan area, so there's a lot available within, you know, a lot of ranges. You got to drive 20 minutes or a half hour to get to a hotel.
Right.
There's all kinds of options within that circle.
Yep.
Here at the venue. Back to your original question, though, the logistics.
Yeah, so logistics is things like check-in, scoring, prize table walk, etc.
And I think Three Gun Nation really has this down to a science. I mean, sometimes their execution is a hit or a miss, but they have the formula down. I mean, the email comes out pretty much, you know, you could predict it almost down to the half day when Tennille's going to send the email. She's very standardized format of what she's going to tell you. It's all in there. They're telling you the round counts. They're telling you the ranges. It doesn't leave a whole lot of open-ended questions. You know, it's when you're supposed to be there, what time we're going to start shooting, what the round count is, do you need slings, how many slugs are there, all that stuff. So they're pretty good at that. The prize tables, for some reason, it takes forever for the prize table to get started at any match.
Yeah.
Three Gun Nation is no exception.
Yeah.
But whatever time they say, just go ahead and add 2 hours to that.
Yeah, pretty much. So
any match. I don't understand what it is.
So here's a funny thing about that. I sit with a lot of people that are going to walk in like the top 30 and listen to them say, "Oh, I got a plane to catch. I got a plane to catch." It's like, dude, this is not your first 3-gun match.
Yeah, like, are you new here? When I book a plane, which I don't like to do, but when I fly to a match, it's like, what's the last flight out?
Yep.
Put me on the red eye because I know that crap's running late.
Yeah.
And you still got to get there and check in guns.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to sterilize your carry-on bag. Make sure there's not a 9mm floating around on the bottom of that thing. You know?
Always a 9mm floating around.
So yeah, I don't get that at all. But yeah, no, it's so the timing, and there's so many variables that go into timing.
Yeah.
Running matches myself that I don't really, it's on one hand it's like, you guys can do better. On the other hand, it's like, I get it.
Yep.
Something that's not really common knowledge happened, and it's behind schedule. But it's really down to a science. The formula is in place, and they usually execute on it, as well or better than any other match around the country. So.
All right, so pre-communication, we kind of covered that. So there's an email that goes out with round count, what you need, et cetera. Any sort of other pre-communication that came out with this particular match?
No, they kind of did some well-executed emails, and then that was it. In the past, they've tried like apps and live updates and things like that kind of fizzled out. But I think they're pretty good at getting the information out via email. They just kind of accept that not everybody's going to download the app and monitor the app, and they're not going to be the 3-gun Facebook.
Right.
At least not yet. I know they're trying, but the emails come out. They have an email list. They'll fire off an email when there's pertinent information that everyone needs to know. So.
And I always appreciate the emails, and this was particularly important at the Nationals. It's like, hey, we're throwing out every single stage that Dave and Adam shot today, and then we're restarting it tomorrow. Granted, it sucked they threw out the stages at
kick in the nuts. Have a nice day.
Nationals. Yeah, that was a kick to the nuts, kick to the psyche right there. But that was information you need, because we didn't expect to start until the afternoon that day.
Yeah.
And they restarted us in the morning.
Yeah.
So that is one of those times where it's like, oh, I'm very grateful that they, do the email communication.
And I've been at other matches where they're like, oh, yeah, we'll email everyone tonight. Don't worry. We'll figure it out. We'll let everyone know. 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Crickets, it's like, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, so I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but, and this is a woe is me problem to have, but I've been to matches where I did not sign up via practice score, and so they either don't have my email address or did not manually put me into their email list, so I get no match updates. And yeah, that one's friggin' difficult when everyone's like running somewhere and you're like, hey guys, where are you going?
It's like a third world country, no resources. Huh?
Yeah, it's like, thank God I like stepped out of the trailer to see what everyone was up to,
Yeah.
It's like, I should have been over there with my guns at this time and no email to speak of. So
that sucks.
Yeah, so the people that do utilize the email list in practice score or their own email list, very grateful for.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. How was the staff?
Staff, I mean, I'm biased because half of the staff was people that I work with a lot here running matches, and I somewhat conned them into taking the RO class, and then by default they got roped into running the match.
So that's unique. Most of the time, or traditionally, or in the past, Three Gun Nation has flown in their own ROs.
And they did this match too. So there's kind of a mix because they know how many people they need. They get a feel for how many people they can get locally and how many of their traditional people plan on traveling to the matches, and then they kind of gauge who they have to bring in. I got opportunities to go to other matches on their schedule because they were short on ROs, and so they kind of put the word out. And yeah, I'm game. So I would say there was a lot of our local dudes who stepped up, and I'm really grateful to all those folks. It was a pretty positive experience to them, and like I said, I'm really proud of the group we have here around our core group. And then they flew in a lot of their traditional traveling ROs as well. And
which is fun to see all those familiar faces.
Oh yeah, and that's part of what you're getting too. I mean, like when you roll up to Jason Byerly's stage, you know what you're gonna get.
Yeah,
because you've seen him before.
Wiseman.
Yeah, Wiseman. You know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, all those people.
So it's a little bit less of the trying to figure these dudes out. It's like you roll up, it's like, oh yeah, I know this guy.
These guys aren't standing uncomfortably close to me. They must be professionals.
Yeah, they must. These guys know what they're doing. He knows the book. He calls a tight match. Whatever Chris says, I'm good with it. You know, he isn't on his own thing. So
so then this just popped in my head. You mentioned the RO class. Let's take a little sidetrack again and talk about that.
Yes.
So just in case someone's thinking of getting a Three Gun Nation match, their range or want to get certified, they want to know what it's like. So tell us about that RO class that Three Gun Nation ran for the local staff.
Well, they started doing them last year. I don't remember how many they did, but part of the conversation when we were talking about them coming here is I asked them if they would do an RO class, because currently Three Gun Nation is the only three-gun specific range officer curriculum. Most of us have been, we've taken the USPSA class. I actually took the IDPA class many years ago. That was kind of how I got started ROing. But there wasn't a three-gun specific format before. So you really got brought up from another sport, or you got mentored through. It's like, oh, hey, here's a timer. Here's how you do this.
Shotgun goes barrel down.
Oh, yeah, hey, John, you know the rules. So here, time us. So I really wanted them to bring an RO course to the match, and be it me asking for it or they were planning on doing it anyway, they said, no, we're going to do one at every regional.
Cool.
I was like, sweet. Okay, so they're coming, and it's free. So now I go to all my A-list guys, and I'm like, please, if there's any way you can take this class, even if you're not going to work the match, if there's any way you can take this class, please come and take it so we can build our volunteer base, And
well, and that's what they're doing too, right?
Yeah.
They're offering free RO classes that builds their volunteer base all over the country.
Right. So, we've built a lot of new interest in 3-gun here in the last year. So they're past kind of the tadpole stage of 3-gun. Like now they're comfortable shooting 3-gun and they want to help. And so here was the chance to get the tools that they need to help. And, an RO class basically is going through the rule book, so it's a little bit more involved in this, but it's basically, when Rob gathered us all around, he started at the front and he went all the way until he got to the classifiers. Once you get to the classifiers, then that's not really running a match anymore. That's just admin stuff.
Right.
But they just went kind of line by line, safety stuff, and then as things come up, when they get to the part about chamber flags, that's where we get into the chamber flag discussion. Like, okay, do they need a chamber flag? Are you going to DQ someone because they don't have a chamber flag? No, you're not going to DQ someone because they don't have a chamber flag. But we need to create the culture that we need chamber flags because of the incident, And then, they just talk about 180s and all that stuff. But they just go down the list. It's not going to take 2 hours like they advertise. It's going to take 4. So just go ahead and plan on that. But
just like scoring.
But it's a good class, and we can discuss some of the things that come up, and it shines a little light on things in a way that you haven't thought about it before. But the RO class is explaining basically it's kind of like your carry permit class for those who do the carry thing. It's the rules, it's the implications, it's the laws, it's so the things that are going to come up. All right, if you're going to RO, you are responsible for both the objectivity and authenticity of the scores. You are responsible for the safety of that squad as they shoot this stage. We're all grown-ups playing games with guns, and you're what's standing between fun and chaos. And an ambulance coming today.
Right.
So it's a serious job. It requires objectivity and a mind towards safety and things like that. And all that's spelled out. If for no other reason, sitting through this class was worth it to see Rob airgun with a 1970s snow shovel. Because he's standing there, he's going to the park.
Did he look like super cool doing it?
It was awesome. I could not get a picture without him noticing, but I could sell it for a lot of money. It was awesome because he's sitting there, he's reading, and all of a sudden he needs a gun, right? He needs something to demonstrate a gun. He looks to his left, nothing. Looks to his right. Oh, hey, there's a shovel. It's straight out of Charlie Brown. Right? He just picks it up and he's got the big blade under his shoulder and he's like, you're gonna put it down on the table board if I bump it, and then the shovel falls on the ground.
Were you just cracking up?
I was. It was awesome. But that was probably the best part of the class, was watching Rob airgun with a snow shovel.
Rob Romero with a snow shovel. Awesome.
Yep, he's grandmaster with them as well. Even though he lives in Georgia, maybe he's not. He probably, I don't know how good he is at shoveling snow.
Probably not very good.
But he can 3-gun with a snow shovel like nobody's business. You could say he invented it. So, I love you, Rob.
All right, so tell us about the fun factor, or the Adam Maxwell factor. Adam factor. Did we decide what we're calling this?
We didn't.
Max factor.
Didn't. We need to be like a lot less dehydrated when we
Yeah,
come up with that, probably.
We should probably not do that after a match. We'll do a brainstorming when we're not shooting a match.
Yeah. We'll Skype on it later.
FaceTime.
Yeah.
Snapchat.
What is the fun factor again? It's just
the fun factor. Let's look at the template.
I'm still green.
The fun factor is highly subjective, and it is just how you felt about the stages of the match. How much fun did you have? 1 to 10, 5 stars, whatever, that kind of thing. What was the most fun part of it? What was the least fun part of it? That sort of thing.
Well, the fun factor for me.
So let me give you an example.
Yes.
So, your favorite match on the planet, Iron Man.
Iron Man.
So if I said,
Iron Man
what's
for
the
life.
fun factor of the Iron Man? You'd say, through the roof, I got to go on a zip line and shoot targets.
Yep.
So that's what I'm looking for.
What I like about the Three Gun Nation matches is they're hammer down, high speed, high energy stages.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always they're fast, not fast in that they're short, times per se, but they're set up for racing. I mean,
constantly moving.
We're gun racing is what we're doing.
Right.
There's definitely marksmanship involved and there's hard shots, but they always have the sense of urgency to go fast. You are literally trying to burn down a stage instead of trying to pick your way through it or negotiate some obstacle.
Right.
So that's what I love about all the Three Gun Nation matches, this one included.
Okay. Funny things that happened at the match?
There probably were, but it's so far in the past.
There's been so many matches in between.
Yeah. I thought it was really funny that they were pounding those shotgun targets into the marsh and thinking that was the greatest thing ever. I don't think they there were a lot better places on the range probably to execute a shotgun speed shoot, but it was kind of like the guilty pleasure, you're gonna let us set it up over there? Oh hell yeah, we're gonna set it up over there. No, we don't want to use that flat open space. No, we're gonna
that flat dry open space.
No, we want to use this part because it's gonna look cool in pictures. I don't know. I don't have any good stories. I'm not gonna flounder around trying to come up with one, but
okay.
There's always funny stuff going on around all of these matches.
Of course.
So,
all right. So, Adam, anything you want to add to your match recon of the Three Gun Nation Midwestern Regional?
I can't wait for him to come back. It was hard bringing him here. It was an uphill battle on all fronts to get them here. But now that they're here, they loved the range. They loved the support they got. I know Forest Lake Sportsman's Club was really happy with how they conduct themselves while they're here, and I know our local fan base or our local base of shooters is very excited for them to come back next year. So I can't wait for them to come back. It was a good time, and the energy around the match was intoxicating. So I want to keep it rolling.
Awesome. All right. Well, this has been a special match recon episode with Field Correspondent Adam Maxwell. Adam, thanks for joining us. Thanks for your information, man.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Dave. Always fun to do these with you.
If you are finished, unload, show clear.